Hey, friends. Welcome to the Swing My Heart podcast. Come join me, your host, Nicole, for some hope-filled conversations about heartfelt entertainment that makes your heart swing. Hey, Hallmarkies. Welcome to the Swing My Heart podcast. I'm your host, Nicole, joined today, once again, by my friend Alex to chat about the next movie in the Time to Come Home for Christmas series, Time for Her to Come Home for Christmas, starring Chris Carmack, Shanae Grimes Beach, and Grace Lear. It was written by Marcy Holland and directed by Allie Liebert. Carly heads to a small town to lead a church choir at Christmas time, facing her first holiday season without her mother. While there, she connects with a man back in town after serving in the Army. Welcome back to the podcast, Alex. I'm excited to chat with you about this movie.
Thanks for having me back on, Nicole. I'm very excited about
Of course. Yes, this was a good one for the series.
Yes. For the franchise, I definitely really enjoyed this one. I mean,
Yeah.
I love all 5 of the other
Yes.
movies as well, but this one was really good too.
Yeah. And it was nice seeing American Idol alum Grace Lear in this movie.
Yes. I love Grace. I
First
remember her. Yes.
Hallmark
I remember
movie.
her being on Idol in 2020, the
Yeah.
year of the pandemic, and she was so good. I was like rooting for her to win.
I was too, and when they cut her, I was like, are you kidding me, Lionel, Katie, and Luke? You put, or should I say the producers or whoever
Right.
is behind those cuts, right at the beginning at Hollywood Week,
Mhm.
whoever is behind those cuts, that was one of the dumbest things ever to
I
put
remember a lot of
Lauren
people,
and Grace up against each other.
Oh, I remember that. I love Lauren too. My dad was so surprised when she went out of the competition because my dad thought she was going to go really far too, and I was like disappointed because they were like my 2 favorites out of like the entire group that year. I remember.
Yeah, I was like, y'all are dumb for putting 2 of the best vocalists this season up against each other.
I know.
Stupid in all caps.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to the movie. I won't spoil it since you have not gotten to a lot of the movies yet. But the woman who played Susan, Janet Kidder, she is in SSD.
Ooh, good to know.
Yes. A very later movie.
Okay.
But she's fantastic as well. I love seeing her in this role.
Yeah. Wasn't she in a few other Hallmark movies too? Like,
she might have been. I would have to look it up. Yeah,
her face was like very familiar to me. I'm like, I'm like, I've seen her in another movie or movies. I just can't think of which ones they were.
Yeah, she's great. And to start off our review, as always, why don't we talk about our merry musings, which are our overall thoughts or our hot takes? Would you like to go first?
Sure. Let's see. Like I said, I really enjoyed this one. I thought Shanae and Chris had really good chemistry. I loved all their scenes together. I thought like the whole storyline with like her like teaching the choir to make them become better by by the Christmas Eve service was like a beautiful story, and yeah, I really liked it.
Yeah, I did too. I thought the script was great. The ensemble cast was amazing. The costumes, I loved all the outfits as well.
Yes.
I thought those were nice. You mentioned Carly as a music teacher. I loved seeing that. And one of my favorite parts was the brother-sister relationship with Matthew and Riley.
Me too.
Yes. I always love a good sibling relationship in a Hallmark
definitely
movie.
Definitely in these movies you do.
Yes. And the friendship with Matthew and Jenny. What did you think about Jenny?
I liked her. I thought she was like a very like chill character in the movie. I liked the part she played.
Yeah, I love how it wasn't catty, I guess.
Yeah,
the right word.
She wasn't like over the top or catty to
about Matthew.
Carly.
Yeah. And she is more than just a friend to Carly. At some point, she becomes
Yes.
related in some way. I won't spoil it yet, but yeah, I loved that connection that we find out at the end, and we'll talk about that.
I agree.
Yeah. I loved seeing the married relationship with John and Susan. I thought that was sweet too. They had some
Yeah,
nice moments.
definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. I agree.
Yeah. And I've seen the actor who plays John in a lot of stuff as well.
Me too. Me
Yeah,
too.
he's great.
Hmm.
And I wish we had gotten a little bit more romance with Matthew and Carly, but I did enjoy what we did.
Yes, like I
Yeah.
said, they had a couple of like really good scenes
Sweet
together that I
moments.
really,
Yeah.
yeah, like.
Yeah. And it had some wonderful Christmas feels to it with, of course, the Christmas tree shopping, the Christmas music, making Christmas
Hmm.
wreaths,
Oh, the candles, the
the
Christmas candles
candles.
that you were
Yep.
making
Yep. That's
with
just a couple
Susan.
things. Yep. I'm sure we'll get into a little bit more as we review the movie, but yeah,
Hmm.
great Christmas feels.
Hmm.
Moving into our holiday highlights, which are the best or key moments. Would you like to share some of yours first?
Yes, I think one of my favorite moments in the movie between Chris and Carly was when after she was at it was like towards like the middle of the movie, like when they were making the wreaths at his house
Mm-hmm.
after she had the rehearsal with Riley for her solo.
Yeah.
I love when they went back to her place and he wanted to hear her sing for the first time, like by
Mm-hmm.
herself, and she
Yeah.
sings them the
The
song "Time
song.
for Me to Come Home for Christmas." And I
Yeah.
thought they really like connected in that scene
Yeah.
like really well, and that was definitely one of my favorites.
Yeah. That was one of my favorite scenes too. And Shanae has a great voice, in my
Hmm.
opinion.
Yes, I know she's been like singing for like a long time, right? Like she's
I don't
sing like
know.
I don't know. I think she has. I
Yeah.
think.
I would have to look it up, but she has a great
Yeah.
voice.
Yeah.
I did enjoy the montage at the beginning with Carly working with her students and then talking to one of them about her Christmas plans. And
Hmm.
I like when she says how music is all about timing.
Yes. Yep.
I
Totally
thought that was
agree
nice.
with that
Yeah.
statement.
Yes. I have to point this out because I thought it was kind of cool. The book cameo when she got on the bus from
Yes.
Hallmark Publishing, A Christmas to Remember.
Yes, the book that was laying on Chris's um when he
Wow.
was like sleeping on the lap on the bus. Chris's lap on the bus. I didn't really read the writing, but now that you brought it up, I remember it.
Yes. And that was a book turned into a Hallmark movie with Cameron Matheson, I
Oh, okay.
believe,
Nice.
was who was in it.
Nice.
Yeah. I've seen bits and pieces of that movie. It's pretty good from what I can remember. And then they get off the bus, and Matthew finds Carly's guitar pick that she dropped.
Mhm.
And of course, they keep missing each other.
Hasn't happened a lot this year in these movies with the couples. Like,
Yep. Yep. First, it's at the hot cocoa stand. Is that
yes, or
the
is it
first
like when
place?
they first get off on the bus, they miss
Yes.
each other. And then when they get off the bus, they head in completely different
Yeah.
directions, if you
Yep.
remember. And then it's
Yeah.
the hot the no, but the hot cocoa stand was first. Yes, you're
Yes.
correct.
And then they get on the bus. Yeah.
Yes, that was afterwards.
I'm like, come on, just look at each other.
Face to face.
Like they literally walked right.
It reminded me of Santa Summit. Like every time like they passed each other in Santa Summit, I was like, oh my god, it's the same thing happening
Yes. Yeah. Like right there.
there.
I loved the reunion that Matthew had with his sister Riley and their mom Diane. And
Hmm.
then Carly meets the Shepherds, John and Susan. And John is the pastor at Waterford Creek Church. And I loved
Mm.
that they had a pastor in this movie.
Yes, I do too.
And they bring her Susan's chicken pot pie.
Yeah, she also wrote like the little like poinsettia
Yeah,
plant
yeah,
with her.
yes. Are you a fan of chicken pot pie?
Yes, I am.
I love
It's
chicken pot
good.
pie too. Yeah. Although when I'm eating it, it's like it almost never fails. I burn my tongue
I know. I always feel like every
almost
time I
every
have
time.
any type of like soup, I burn my mouth. Nicole. It's like a given with me.
Yep. I was drinking hot tea last night and I burned my tongue.
I do that too, but
I still feel it right now.
I actually have to drink tea, Nicole, not when it's like boiling hot. I literally wait till it's like room temperature so I don't burn my mouth. Which probably sounds strange. You're supposed to drink tea hot, but that's just what I like to do.
I love the little talk too that Carly has with John and Susan when she mentions that her mom was also a music teacher, so she had a guitar in her hand before she could walk. And
Mm.
then John mentions how Susan is in the choir, and Susan's like, don't say that, not yet.
Yeah.
She'll find out.
Don't tell her now.
And then John invites Carly to church the next day, and I loved that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Matthew's talk at home with Riley and their mom. I loved that. And
Mm-hmm.
Matthew puts the star on top of the tree.
Yes.
And it made me laugh when Riley says the Christmas tree whisperer returns.
I think that I love that scene too because isn't that the scene where Riley tells Chris that she like joined the choir? He's like,
Yes.
finally, you finally did it.
Yes.
And what is the line he tells her?
Good things happen when you're brave
Yes.
enough to put yourself out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really like sweet brother sister moment between
It
the two of them.
was. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't mention it before, but since we're talking about the star on top of the tree, I loved hearing Grace's song, Star on Top of the Tree.
Yes. Yeah, that's a
When
good
he
song.
came home. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I also love when going back to the scene we just mentioned, he says, I wish I'd known, referring to, Carly being on the same bus, and
Mm-hmm.
I'd have spent the last 5 hours singing the praises of her newest recruit.
Mm.
And we find out Matthew is moving back home and can start at the fire station as soon as he takes the written exam.
Yes.
So he's
Yeah,
going to be
that's
a
the job he
firefighter.
wants.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the job he wants after like him leaving the army.
Yeah. I thought the reunion with Jenny was sweet too.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
In the
I
store.
know.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that whole storyline with them like being like best
Best
friends and stuff.
friends. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was really sweet. And it's been 5 years since they've seen each other. That's a long time.
Definitely.
Yes.
Yep. 5 years is long.
Yeah. What did you think about the first church service when Carly sees the choir sing for the first time?
I remember like thinking to myself, I'm like, this girl's probably thinking to herself, she goes, I got a lot of work on my hands to make them get really good by the end of Christmas Eve service. But I knew she was going to be able to do it. But like I said, them just singing all off key with each other, I was like, she's got a lot of work.
Yep. And Alicia was so enthusiastic. I loved it, but at the same time, I
Right.
was like, they are not in harmony right now.
I said the same thing. I'm like, yeah, they're all off key right now.
They're not in sync. I also loved the talk that Carly and John have after the service when they're mentioning, the history of the choir, the former director, and why they asked her to come to Waterford Creek.
Yeah.
I thought that was sweet.
One thing I also loved in like their office, in John's office, I loved all the pictures on the wall of like the past choirs. I thought that was like a really nice touch added to the movie.
Yeah. Have you ever been part of your church's choir?
No, but I've had a friend of mine who sang in high school,
Mm-hmm.
she was part of, I guess you could call it a choir. Do you call that in choir in high school?
I
But
think
she used to
so.
sing right? She used to
Yeah.
sing in a choir in high school, and like she my friend has like a really good voice, and she loved it.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
she actually
Yeah.
sang it our graduating year of high school. She actually sang at graduation, my friend.
Oh, I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I haven't been a part of a church choir yet, but I
Yeah.
did participate in choir when I was in school, in elementary school. I think music class was a requirement. I think I took it in middle school. And then ninth grade, I was not part of the choir because
Mm-hmm.
at the all girls school where I went to for ninth grade,
Right.
they call it the red choir and you had to audition. I auditioned, I didn't get
Oh,
in.
okay.
But like middle school, I was a part of it because it was music class. And
Right.
yeah,
Yeah, I think my friend had to audition too when she went to get into choir when we were in high school too.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure she did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Some schools you have to audition, but others it's just for music class. You're just
Yes.
automatically a part of the choir.
Exactly.
Yes. But for 10th, 11th, and 12th grade, they didn't have a high school music program. It was just
Right.
elementary school, which is unfortunate because I love music.
Right. I think now that I'm thinking about it, I think my friend, I think it was a music class,
Yeah.
Nicole, in high school, but she did have to audition for it, if
Oh,
that makes
yeah.
sense.
Yeah, yeah. I know what you're
That's what
saying.
I remember her telling me. It was like
Yeah.
10 years ago, so my memory's kind of like,
It's okay.
no,
It's
that's what I
okay.
remember her telling me.
Yeah, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
know what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one of my favorite memories from the choir, I think it was seventh grade, seventh and eighth, or maybe it was just eighth. The all girls school I just mentioned, Ashley Hall, they do a Christmas play every year. And when I
Oh,
was
that's
in
fun.
eighth grade, the choir got to sing at the
Oh,
Christmas play, like, or
that's
as a
awesome.
part of it. Yeah.
Oh,
It
nice.
was fun. Yeah. And I think one of the songs we sang in Latin, or part of it in Latin.
Ooh, interesting.
I think it was, gosh, what song was it? It might have been "O Come All Ye Faithful." I think we sang part of that in Latin.
Aw, that's
It was
sweet. I love that
hard.
song.
Yes, me too.
I know that song. That's a challenging song
Yeah,
to sing.
I love it, but the Latin was hard. It was difficult.
That would be difficult for me to memorize that too.
Yes, lots of great Christmas songs. But back to the movie that we are talking about. Matthew and Carly's first official meeting. They literally run into each other.
Yes.
And Carly's like, do we know each other? Have we
Yeah.
met?
And he goes like, looks at her, he goes, I don't think
I
so.
don't think so. And then Jenny interrupts them, of
Mm-hmm.
course. But that's
Yes.
okay. Yeah. I thought that was a nice moment as well. And then they
Mm-hmm.
go their separate ways.
Mm-hmm. For now.
For now. Carly's first practice with the choir, I thought that was a nice moment. And they do the little icebreaker challenge. And she learns why everyone joined the
Mm-hmm.
choir. Susan, of course, she is John's wife.
Yes.
And, she's been a part of the choir for a long time. Jenny, as she
Mm-hmm.
says, really has no choice because her parents, her dad is the pastor and her mom has been a part of the choir. So it's kind
Mm-hmm.
of required for her.
Exactly.
Tyler, I thought Tyler's reason was nice.
Yeah.
His mom told him team activities build character, and it was either the choir or ice hockey. And you can't really lose a tooth singing, but you can play an ice hockey. So
Yeah.
even though he can't sing, he chose to be a part of the choir. And I love that.
Mm-hmm. I love that reason too.
Yeah. I think I would definitely choose the choir over skating.
Me too. The worst ice skater. Worst ice skater. the worst. I went ice skating twice, Nicole. I was holding on to the wall like for dear life. I could not get it. Not for me.
haven't ice skated in a long time.
And I was like, that was like a long time ago. I'm like,
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah, it's been forever since I've gone
Mhm.
ice skating. Alicia and her enthusiasm once again for Christmas with the sweaters and the pins was hilarious.
I love how happy she was. Like she was like the most happiest person in
Yes.
the movie.
Yes. And she's like, I'm married with a husband and 2 kids.
And she was like, put my Christmas tree up right after Thanksgiving.
And on December 1st with the Christmas sweaters and the bling.
She was like, then she said, like, I can show you my
catalog.
My catalog. I can show you my Christmas catalog like, at another time.
Because Carly was like, I like the pins. And Alicia was like, well, I can show you a catalog after practice.
I actually love Christmas pins too because my Nana used to wear Christmas pins.
Yes.
Like they were her favorite. I actually have some of her pins.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I might have a couple sitting around somewhere, whether they're mine or my mom's or my grandmother's. Well, I don't have my grandmother's. They're at my grandmother's house, but
right.
Yes.
I feel like they add a nice touch like to like an outfit.
Yes. George, he's a little bit more reserved, so he doesn't share quite yet why he joined the choir, but we will find out. And Riley joined because she loves to sing. That's the best reason.
Yes. Definitely the best reason.
Yes. I loved Matthew and Carly at the tree lot, and we hear Matthew sing, and Chris has a great voice too.
Yes. I like hearing him sing that little part. I'm like, he better join the choir.
Yes. Yep. And Carly wants him to join the choir.
Yes.
And we find this out a little bit later, but he just happens to be a tenor.
Which is they needed.
Just what Carly needed for the choir. And then he helps her find the tree, of course. I love when she says, so you were just planning on sneaking into my house like some reverse Grinch? And he was like, well, I was going to ring the doorbell instead.
That was funny, that scene.
Yes. And then he talked about the friendship with the Shepherds. And they've known each other since he and Jenny were in preschool. I thought that was sweet.
Yeah.
And Carly believes that Matthew has feelings for Jenny.
It's amazing how like girls can like pin that stuff out right away when a guy likes a girl and they're not saying anything about it.
Yes.
They got good instincts.
Yes. Yeah. Although for me, I don't know if my instincts are that good about that. I don't know.
I feel like that happens a lot in these movies too, but like some of like the stories.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes. I mean, when I was in high school, there was a guy that I had a crush on, and I was the one to share with him in a note that I put in his locker that I liked him, but he liked somebody else, and I didn't know that.
Oh, what are you gonna do? I know that sucks though.
Yep. But we're still friends.
Oh, that's good. That's all that matters.
I mean, I was upset, but what you gonna do?
Right?
As Zeke says in High School Musical.
Whatever.
Oh, it's all good. Another great scene with Matthew and Carly was when they are at her guest house and he helps her set up the tree. And she talks about the cardinal snow globe from her mom. And her mom used to call her songbird.
I love the snow globe. I love that snow globe in the movie.
Yeah, it's pretty.
It was so cute.
Yeah. Yes. And a cardinal is a beautiful bird.
Definitely is.
Yes. Totally off topic, but there was a point when I was little when I wanted my career to be a bird watcher. I'm not even joking.
That's so funny.
I would get some of those books from Barnes and Noble
The
with
bird
all
watching
the
books? Bird watching? Of like the species of the birds, you mean? I know there are a lot of them.
Yep. Yep. But I grew out of that pretty quickly. I went through a bird watching phase. I went through a phase when I wanted to be an orthodontist. What was I thinking? I don't
I
know.
know, right? Isn't it weird how like you go through phases in life of like things you think you want to do, and then like you're like, nah, it's not for me.
No, no. I mean, I had a great orthodontist, but I don't know that I'd want to do that myself. I mean, what if one of your patients is sick and you don't know it?
Oh, I know. I know. I say that every time I go to the dentist, Nicole. I'm like, how do they do this job? I'm like, how do they enjoy it? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be able to enjoy that. I mean, yes, it's good money. Definitely. You make great money as a
Yeah.
dentist, but I wouldn't be able like to enjoy that job. But I guess
Mm-mm.
it's like what you like and what you want to do. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yes. But back to Matthew and Carly again in the movie. We also hear that Carly doesn't have any siblings and her father left when she was one because he wasn't ready to be a father, which is sad.
Mm-hmm.
And I love when Matthew says, family doesn't have to mean blood. The men I've served with, I consider them brothers. We have each other's backs. And then he follows up by saying, family can be chosen too.
Yes, that was. If I had to pick another favorite scene, that's like my second favorite scene of the entire movie.
It was a good one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite quotes in the movie.
Me too.
The second choir practice when Carly chooses Riley for the solo. I loved
Mm,
that.
me too. I was so glad she chose Riley for the solo.
Yes.
Nothing,
Yes.
nothing against the other
No.
ladies in the choir,
Yeah.
but happy she
Yeah.
chose her.
Yes. And George's goodbye wave to Carly, that was kind of cute. He was like
Mm,
with the paper
yeah.
in his hand. And Alicia says he's more bark than bite. I can
Mm,
see that.
yes.
Yeah. He looks a
I
little
knew. I knew there
sad.
was. Yeah, I knew there was something going on with him the
Yeah.
second, like he wasn't talking in that first
Mm-hmm.
scene. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, there's an underlying story here that we don't know about yet, and we're
Mm-hmm.
gonna find out.
Yep. Yes. That was very well done the way that they did that.
Mm-hmm.
And Carly promises she'll help Riley prepare for the solo. I
Mm-hmm.
thought that was sweet.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of George again, let's just talk about their scene outside the coffee shop, I believe. That was a
Yeah,
nice moment.
yeah, definitely. I love that whole conversation they
Yes.
had, and then when he brought up his why he wanted
Wife.
to join the choir, which was his because his wife loved to sing and they loved to go caroling
Caroling.
together. I thought I'm like, this is what was going on with him. I knew it had to be something
Yeah.
really important to him.
Yeah. They've been married 53 years. Wow, that's
Mm-hmm.
amazing.
That's a long time.
Mm-hmm. She couldn't carry a tune in a bucket, but she loved to sing
Mm-hmm.
and go caroling. I love when he mentions what she would always say, which is, one more house. Can't keep all this Christmas cheer to ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah, thought that was sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Matthew and Jenny at the Orchard Lane restaurant. This is when she informs him that Barclay's drugstore closed about 6 months ago.
Mm.
And it has become a seafood restaurant. And the importance of that is Matthew loved the peppermint egg creams that they had there.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I've never had a peppermint egg cream.
I never had egg cream in general before. Is it like?
Mm-mm.
Is that like close to like eggnog? Is it two completely different things?
I don't know. I've never, I don't know. I'd have to look it up.
Yeah, we gotta look.
Yeah, it looked good.
Yeah, It looked good in the scene.
Yeah. I'm not a huge eggnog fan. I mean, I don't hate it, but I'm not a huge eggnog fan. So I don't
I don't really
know.
like it.
It's not my favorite thing, but
Mm-mm.
I mean, I'll drink it. It's been
Right.
a long time, but it's not my favorite. Although the peppermint egg cream might be good because I love
Yes.
peppermint. I think she said that her mom got the recipe from Mr. Barkley and Susan would give it to Matthew.
Yes.
Yeah. We also hear that Jenny will only be at the shop one more month since she applied to Dobson, Virginia University and got into the MBA program. But she's waitlisted for a few courses. And, her mom is a little disappointed because she wanted her to take over the shop, but she wants to see what else is out there in the world for her.
Yes. Can't blame her. Like when you're in
No,
one place for a long time, you just
yeah,
get out there and go see other things.
yes, yeah. And I thought it was nice when Matthew mentions how he loved serving his country, but spent most of his quiet moments thinking of home.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard that's the case for a lot of men in the military and
Yes, I heard
women
that
too.
too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I heard that too.
And that's understandable, especially when you're thousands of miles away.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've never experienced that. I've never been in the military, but
No, me either. Yep.
it's got to be hard.
Mm-hmm.
Another favorite scene was Matthew and Carly at the record shop.
Yes.
What did you think about that one?
That was like a really cute moment between them. And I
Yes.
like Carly's like whole story, like with her mom, of how her mom used to swap
Records.
records as like a Secret Santa gift to each
Yeah.
other. And I
Yes.
love that in that scene,
Yeah.
Chris and Carly decided to do the same thing with each other. I thought that was like really, really sweet.
Yeah, I think so too. And also the mentions of the records they were looking at. That Christmas feeling or Christmas time's coming. And then as Carly is talking about the tradition with her mom, she pulls out another one and it is Accordion to Steve's Christmas Polka. What?
I've heard of polka before. I've heard the word before, but not for Christmas time.
Yeah, I think I've heard it too, but I don't know a lot about it.
Right, me either.
But yeah, do you have a record player at your house?
No, but I wish I did, Nicole. I really wish I did. Like listening to records is like so old school, but I feel like it's like coming back in a big way now.
Yes.
Like I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of people have been buying records lately and like playing them.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I
Yeah.
did. I wish I did. They are
Yes.
really nice to have.
Yeah. They're fun. My dad has one. And since we are on this topic, I'm getting one for Christmas and I'm so excited.
Oh, that's awesome.
From Santa, my mom. And
Aw, sweet.
yes, I'm excited. And I already picked out a few records.
Oh, fun.
I'm getting Michael Bublé's Christmas album.
Oh, can't beat that one.
Nope. And then these are just the ones I know of. Who knows if Santa got me anymore? But the other two that I know of are Lauren Daigle's new album.
Ooh, she's good
And
too.
yeah, and the Joe Bros, the Jonas Brothers new album.
Gotta add the Jonas Brothers in there.
Yep, yep. Going back to the movie and the next scene, I also loved when Carly is at her house or at the guest house by herself listening to the record that Matthew gave her of the Blue Note Trio
Hmm.
and Time for Me to Come Home.
Yes, I like that in that scene too. Like she felt like inspired after she was listening to the record and she starts like writing, like jotting notes like in her journal or book, I should say.
Yeah, yes.
Hmm.
And the Blue Note Trio, I know that's not a real thing, but
Hmm.
one of the guys from that fictional music group was in the installment with Stephen Hazar and Lacey, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
remember that. That's actually one of my other favorite movies out of the franchise. But
Yeah,
like I
that was
said,
a good one too.
all of them are good, but that
Yeah.
one was up there for me.
Yeah, that one was a good one as well. I also loved this scene, which is the third choir practice when they are talking about the meaning of Hark the Herald Angels Sing
Mm.
and rejoicing in good news and coming together in celebration.
Hmm. Yes, I really like that scene too. That's when Carly asks all of them to think about a time in their life where they were like really happy, and then
Yes,
when they all sang in perfect harmony. Yeah.
that was perfection. I'm not
Yes.
gonna lie, I got chills.
Me too. Me too.
Yes. And Susan's reaction to Carly and Jenny noticing, I picked up on
Yeah,
that right away.
yes, me too. I'm like, there's
There's
something
something.
going on here with her.
Yeah.
Honestly, at first, Nicole, I thought it might have been like that Susan was her mom, but no, that doesn't make sense because she said her mom unfortunately passed away. So that was it. That was not it. So I knew it had to be another reason. I just couldn't figure
Mm-hmm.
it out in
Yeah.
that moment.
Yes. We already mentioned it, but Susan and Carly and Jenny too making Christmas candles. And
Hmm.
then the Christmas dance. I love when John and Susan are debating what their first date was.
They I know there was like three different. It was like the library, and then what
The
was the other two?
dance
The dance, and there was one
and
more.
the coffee shop.
Yes, yes, that was the third one.
Yeah. Yeah. I think they were debating whether the Christmas dance or the library was their first date. And then
Mm-hmm.
whichever one of those was not the first date was the second date. Or no,
Mm-hmm.
whichever one of those was not the first date was the third date. And then the coffee date, I think, was the second date.
Yes, they're trying to figure out which dates were which order.
Yep. Oh my goodness.
I love that, like the scene, like right after it when George asks Carly to dance. I thought that was so
That's so
cute. I'm like, that's
sweet.
so sweet.
Yes, that was very sweet. And Matthew and Carly's talk outside. He wants to know how they're doing and the choir that is, but she thought
She might about them too.
she was like, what?
She goes, she goes. You mean about us? She goes, no, about the choir.
She also talks about how thoughtful it was for the shepherds to invite her to town, and John is paying Carly out of pocket. Wow.
Which is really generous of him to do. That's why it was like so important for her to get this performance right because she knew he
Yeah.
was doing that out of pocket.
Yes.
She goes, it has to be perfect.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then they talk about whether they believe in fate.
Mm,
That was nice too.
yes.
It made me sad when she said that she's felt lost since she lost her mom, but
Mm-hmm.
Matthew understands. I thought Matthew understanding was sweet.
Yes,
Yeah,
I did too.
very relatable.
Yes, I thought they connected really well in that
Yeah,
scene too.
yeah, connected. That's what I was trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
Matthew and his mom, I thought that was a nice moment between a mother and son when they're looking at Christmas photos and he's talking about his dream and they start talking about Jenny. He wanted to come home, buy a farmhouse, and fix it up. And Jenny was his best friend, and now she's leaving, and he feels like he hardly knows her. Another favorite quote in this movie: people change, grow apart, others grow together.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you need to let go of a dream so another one can take its place.
Yeah, that's another one of my favorite quotes too.
Yes. And then we see Carly and the choir going caroling.
Yes, I love that. I thought that scene was really
Yes.
nice. I got to get outside and go caroling
Yeah.
together.
Yes. Have you ever been caroling before?
No, I have not.
You
I've
haven't?
only seen it on the movies. But I've never been personally.
I haven't either that I can remember at least.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It does look fun though and enjoyable.
Yes.
So
Yeah. I mean, I've gone caroling at school for Christmas concerts, but that doesn't count. That doesn't count. We sing Christmas carols, but that's
Right.
not caroling. We already mentioned this scene, but I loved when Carly shares her idea for the new song, Time for Me to Come Home, and she plays it for Matthew. And
I got so
then,
excited when she said she
yeah,
was going to add that. I was like,
yes,
yay.
me too. And she says, I guess sometimes the things we need just have a way of finding us.
Mm-hmm.
It's very
Definitely.
true. Yeah.
Yes, 100% true.
Another sweet moment was when Matthew and Carly go to check on Tyler because he missed choir practice.
Mm.
And he forgot because it snowed the night before and he wanted to make sure the driveway was clear for his mom.
Mm.
And he always helps the neighbors with their firewood.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was sweet of him to do that.
Yeah, I love that scene too because if him, if he didn't, he did not come to practice, they wouldn't, Carly and Chris wouldn't have found out like what was going on with him.
Mm-hmm.
Carly
Very
and
true.
Matt. Okay.
Yes.
Carly and Matt.
Yeah. And we find out that Tyler's dad is in the Marines serving overseas and won't be back for
Mm-hmm.
Christmas. It's sad.
Mm.
And then Matthew and Carly and Alicia help Tyler decorate he
Mm-hmm.
and his mom's house.
Yeah. That was
I thought
cute.
that was,
I love the
yes.
scene with the oranges, what Alicia was telling me about
Pomanders.
the pomanders.
Pomanders. And speaking of pomanders, my mom and I just a couple of days ago went to a historical Christmas house tour in the downtown area of Charleston. And at the end of the tour, they had a tent and a table set up where we could make our own pomanders. And I have one right here.
It's so fun.
Yeah, it was fun. When we were making it, I was like, I don't know what kind of pattern I should do. So I just
I would probably do the same pattern, Nicole, if I were you.
it was
Make it plain.
fun.
Make
Yeah.
everything match.
Yes, it was fun. We had a good time.
That's good. That's all that
And of
counts.
course, on the way out, like on the way to the car, I dropped mine on the ground. Of course. And
Pomegranate down.
um, and just now retying it, you can't really tell, but like the tie was coming undone, and I tried to retie it, and to hold the string in place, I tried putting a paper clip inside of it so I could tie the knot, and it
It
just
didn't
poked
work.
a hole in the orange somewhere.
But it's still together, so that's all that counts.
Yeah. Oh, it's better if you could see it more on this side.
Right. I see it. Yeah.
But yeah, we had a good time.
Mhm.
I also love the scene after that when Matthew is talking about reheating his mom's famous ginger soup. And then they both talk about the sacrifice with those in the military and their families. And
Mm-hmm.
Matthew helps her tie the bow on the gift.
Yes. And then
I thought that was
she ties his finger in the bow.
yeah. Yes. I also love the scene with the fourth choir practice and the group singing in harmony once again, and then they take the group photo.
Yeah. I'm glad she got in the photo. I'm glad she got in the photo too, Carly, because she originally didn't want to be in the photo. They're like, no, you have to be in the photo.
Yes, you're a part of the choir too.
Mm-hmm.
And another moment that got me chills was when they were singing and John hears it from his office.
Mm-hmm.
Goosebumps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You too.
Another favorite scene was when they are all at the orchard making their own peppermint egg cream.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the talk with Carly and Jenny after about her dad.
Yep, that was a big conversation.
Mm-hmm. When her dad left, her mom went back to her maiden name, which Carly also took. and her dad's last name was Fernie. Jenny's reaction, she was like,
Yes.
I
And
know
she
that
knew it.
name. Yeah.
Like a light bulb went off in her head. Like she
Yes.
knew automatically at that point, like her mom wasn't telling her something.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Mm.
And then she goes to the
Yes,
store and talks
to
to her
ask
mom.
her. Yeah, to ask her what the real story was.
Yeah. And it was when her mom brought up how Carly also likes cherry pie. That was
Mm-hmm.
like, okay,
Yeah.
that's a little fishy, but not fishy.
Yeah.
Fishy in a good way.
Yes.
Yeah. This scene got me when Carly was at the church and has a talk with Pastor John about her mom, and his
Mm.
encouragement was really sweet.
Yes. Yeah, when she was like in tears and she was talking about how lost she feels since her mom passed. I teared up during that scene. That scene got me.
Yeah.
Hmm. And she was like
John's,
lighting the candle for her in the church.
I
Yeah.
think so. Yeah.
Hmm.
And John says, your mother gave you a beautiful gift, and you keep her memory alive with every student you inspire. And then he follows up with, we do what we do to reach people, move them,
Hmm.
touch their hearts. We're following a calling.
Mm.
And that's very true. Being a pastor
Yeah.
is a calling, being a teacher is a calling.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yes. Very true.
Yep. All those professions, like being a nurse is a calling,
Yes.
firefighter. Hmm.
Yeah. Being in the military is a calling.
Hmm.
Yeah. The Christmas Eve party. What did you think about the Christmas Eve party?
That was another fun scene.
Yeah.
I like how they wanted Carly to like make a speech about her like being there and how much she's like enjoyed like
Mm-hmm.
helping the choir out for the service. And
Yeah.
yeah, I thought it was really, really nice.
Yes, I did too. She says to family wherever you find them. That was her
Hmm.
toast to
Hmm.
end her speech. And I loved that. Matthew and Jenny have a talk about him being home in old times. She had a crush on him and was going to kiss him at the bus stop before he left to go off to the military,
Yep.
but she didn't want to ruin their friendship. And that's
Right.
understandable.
I can totally understand where she's coming from with that standpoint. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, why mess up a good thing?
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. Hmm.
I mean, I know I've never been in this situation, but I have heard with some relationships that start out to be best friends and then they get into a dating relationship,
Hmm.
it could mess things up.
Uh,
It messes
right.
things up if they break up
Yeah. Exactly.
and
Hmm.
then they're
I've
not
heard that a
friends
lot too.
anymore.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I've heard that a lot too.
I think that even happened with Zach and Vanessa from High School Musical because they were like best friends. They dated.
Yes. Yep. Hmm.
Depressing.
That was depressing for me in my childhood.
My
I should say our childhood because we were the same age.
my Zanessa shipping was crushed.
Hardcore. I was hardcore shipper of them, and then yes, our dreams got shot down quickly.
I was a hardcore
No, I wasn't.
Zanessa shipper.
I remember buying like all like the J14, the Pop Star magazines. You remember those? I had like a stack of like collection. I used to like any chance I got when I went out to like a CVS or like a Walgreens, I asked for a magazine. Like I had to have the magazines. I had so many of them.
Me. Oh, I think I still have some of my old J14 teen
Me too.
box.
I definitely saved a couple in a box somewhere. I think it's in my other room. It's
Yes.
in my spare room. They're there.
Oh my gosh. But back to the movie again. Of course, Carly sees the moment between Matthew and Jenny and them holding hands, and she overanalyzes it, unfortunately.
Hmm. Yeah, right
And
away. She initially thinks like they're getting back together. He told her like how he feels about her,
yeah,
and hmm
yes. And she walks away, and then Riley picks up on it immediately, and she goes to see what Carly was so upset about, and she
Yeah.
realizes it.
Mm-hmm.
I loved that.
Me too.
Because sometimes in some of these movies, when the main character has a sibling, they don't pick up on it that quickly.
No.
It takes
No,
a
they
little
don't.
bit more time.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yes. Matthew and Carly, of course, have a moment before she leaves, and he gives her the guitar pick back and, tells her, how long he's had it, or how he has had it all this time.
Mm-hmm.
And he wants to know if everything's okay. And she claims it's just she's tired.
Mm. Not true.
Nope. And Riley is still in the back, just watching the whole thing go down.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we get to Christmas Eve, Carly's gift to Pastor John and Susan too, which
Yes.
is the photo of the choir. And I thought that was sweet.
Yeah.
And then we find out the connection when Carly takes the photo off the wall and turns the frame around and sees Susan Fernie,
Yeah,
which
she tells
is
her,
her
yeah, she
maiden
goes,
name.
you have the same last name as me. She goes, wow. Like she doesn't
Yeah.
think anything of it at first,
Yeah.
but then she hears it from Susan, and then she realizes like what's going on.
Yes. And Susan is her dad's sister,
Yes.
which makes Susan her aunt and
Exactly.
John her uncle and Jenny her
Yes.
cousin.
hmm
I loved that.
I thought she acted that scene out really well.
She did.
Shanae, am I saying her name right?
Yeah.
Shanae, right?
Shanae.
Like
Yeah.
I thought she acted that scene really well.
Yeah.
Out like when she started, like she ran out, like she was in tears
Mm-hmm.
because she was so upset. I'm like, I felt it in that moment. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, it was such a shock to her, and like she was so like she was upset because they didn't tell her like what was going on,
Yeah.
which is like completely the right response, because I would be
Yeah.
upset in that moment too if somebody that I was a family member with didn't tell me
Yeah.
that in the beginning too. So
Yes. Yeah. And I love how she didn't actually get upset. She just wanted more answers
there's
and
exactly
doesn't regret coming to
right.
Waterford Creek.
Right, she was upset because she wanted more answers as to what was really going on.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then Matthew and Riley have a brother sister moment when they talk about Carly as she's helping him tie his tie. And Riley gives advice to go after Carly, go talk
Yes.
to her. And then Matthew and Carly share their feelings for each other. And then we get
Finally.
the beautiful church service with Pastor John's sermon and the choir performance and Riley's solo
Yes.
of
I
Time for
love
Me.
Yes, I love what he says in that scene too. The
I
pastor
do, yeah.
about time.
Yes.
About time, how like
I didn't write
important
it
time
down.
is.
Yeah.
I think I have it. The most precious gift exchanged during Christmas is time. Each moment they share with each other has a ripple effect to shape a life.
Yes. That was another favorite quote in this movie. Yeah. Very true.
Yes.
Very beautiful sermon. And Riley singing Time for Me to Come Home. And of course, all the choir was
Yes, singing it together.
beautiful.
It was so
Yeah.
beautifully done. Yep.
Yes. That song, I love that song. That's very catchy.
Yes. But one thing I have to say, Nicole, too, like I like how the song was applied to each of these movies, but for a completely different reason. But it was intertwined in the movie, in the
Yes.
story, in the perfect way that fit.
Yeah.
Which
Yes.
I really, really love that.
Yes. Me too. Yeah. And putting out a request here. Can we please get a cover of Time for Me to Come Home by Grace Lear?
Yes. I would
On
totally
a Christmas album?
I would buy it.
Yes.
Yes, because her version is great. With the choir, obviously, of course.
Yes. And going back to the previous movie in this series, can we get one from Tenille Townes too, please?
Yes. I love her music too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. An actual studio recorded version for both. Yeah. Great song. Beautiful version of the song.
Mm-hmm. Even the original version by Blake Shelton is great too.
Yes.
His own version.
Yeah, I agree. And then we see John invite her to continue working with the choir. And then Carly goes outside and has a brief talk with her mom. And then Matthew and Carly talk about regrets. And his compliments were so sweet. And then they share a kiss and live happily ever after.
Yes, finally. But I'm glad they waited to the end for them to kiss in the movie.
Yeah. Yep.
It was a perfect way to end it.
Yes. Beautiful moment to end a beautiful movie. I would like, I'm not going to lie, another one. I wonder who would be in another one. And I wonder what pronoun they would use. Maybe time for y'all to come home for Christmas.
Time for the family to come home for Christmas. I know it's 2 words, but
yeah. Yes. They're running out of pronouns, but maybe at least one more.
Yeah.
Yes.
But even if it's not one more, I thought all 6 of them in the franchise were great movies for Hallmark.
Yeah, I agree. Moving on to our ratings segment, what would you rate it for plot and script out of 10?
I think 10 out of 10. Definitely 10.
Yeah, same. Chemistry.
10 out of 10.
Same, yep. Christmas feels.
10 out of 10.
Good answer. This is totally not planned, y'all. This is totally not planned. And overall.
10 out of 10.
Yes. Once again.
Like I said, I really, really enjoyed this one.
Yeah, I think it was a really good one for the season. I'm not ready for the Christmas movies to end.
Me either. There's only like, how many are left? There's only a few. There's one left? That's
tonight.
It?
Yep.
Benjamin Ayers' movie is the last movie.
Yeah.
Are you sure? Really? I thought there was more. I thought there was maybe like...
This is the last new movie of the season.
I know, and then I gotta wait till next year. Sad face.
Not ready for the movies to end.
Me either.
No. But we get the winter movies, so that'll be fun. Or the New Year new movies.
Yes.
That's what I mean. Yeah. But overall, going back to this movie, very nice. I really enjoyed it. Marcy, as always, did a fantastic job with the writing.
Yes.
And Allie, great job directing. Great acting. Great costuming. All around. Yeah. Well, this was so much fun. Alex, thank you for joining me for this review. I had a great time.
Yes, I did too. It was a lot of fun.
Of course. Yes. And I can't wait to have you back on again in the future, maybe to review one more Christmas movie this season, or even sometime in the new year.
Looking forward to it.
Yes. Always a great time having you on. All right, Hallmarkies, I think that wraps up our review of Time for Her to Come Home for Christmas. If you enjoyed this episode, you can like this video and share your thoughts on the movie in the comments. If you want to stay up to date on the rest of my Christmas movie reviews and any interviews I might have in the future, you can subscribe to this channel and make sure to turn on the bell so you are alerted when new episodes come. We hope you have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays. And have a great day or night wherever you are in the world. And we will see you next time. We love y'all. Bye.